Hey guys, Rob at Tactical Garage here. Today I'm going to be replacing the factory DOT3 brake fluid with the RBF 600 Motul DOT4 brake fluid. And so apparently the Chevy recommends that if you're going to track your car, which I'm planning on starting to do some road course stuff with my car or some auto track stuff with my car, or autocross stuff with my car. So they recommend that you replace the factory brake fluid. The DOT3 brake fluid that's in the car has a very low boiling point, so you can start to boil your brake fluid pretty quickly if you're on the road course. And so they recommend that you move to a DOT4 brake fluid, which this Motul RBF 600 has a boiling point of 600 or right about there. Anyways, there's some other racing fluids. Castrol has one that probably is the best, but is also pretty darn expensive as well. So I decided to go with the Motul. I'm not going to be tracking my car that hard, and if you're doing autocross stuff, you're just making one lap and it's 40 seconds, so I don't think it's an issue at all. But this is stuff I'm going to use, and then I'm going to be using this Motive Products power bleeder also to do the job, which is supposed to make it so it's pretty darn quick and efficient, and it's a one-person job by using this. So we'll give it a try here. Got both these things off of Amazon, both the power bleeder and also the Motul RBF 600 brake fluid as well. So I'll put links to those down below, and to help support the channel, if you click on the link and you buy it from Amazon, they give me a small fee for redirecting you to their website. It doesn't cost you anything different, just helps support the YouTube channel here. So if you decide to buy it, if you go through the link, that would be great. Appreciate it. Anyways, we'll get started on this and let you know how we're going to approach this thing. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use a turkey baster and remove as much as I can of the existing brake fluid out of the reservoir here, so I don't have to pump quite as much through the system while I'm trying to replace it. So we'll get a little bit of that out. Of course, brake fluid's nasty stuff. You don't want to get it on your paint or anywhere else, so make sure you have something to wash it off with, some water if you get it on anything. Okay, now, so I'll add a little of this Motul to replace the brake fluid that I got out of there. All right, we'll get the power bleeder hooked up next here. Okay, so I got the cap on. So the power bleeder comes with a cap that replaces where the normal cap for the brake fluid master cylinder reservoir is, and then the power bleeder will attach up to the hose that comes out of the cap that they provide. Okay, so currently there's no fluid in this right now, so at first they just want you to test the pressure to make sure the thing's holding pressure. So we'll pump this up to, I suggest 15 psi. Okay, so now we have it at 15 psi there, and we'll see if it holds pressure or not. Okay guys, so I've tested the pressure on this thing, and I can't say I ever got it to where it was losing absolutely zero pressure, but I kind of got it to the point where it's losing very little pressure, so I'll probably have to keep an eye on it. It comes with two different rubber gaskets. There's a thicker one here and a thinner one. I find that the thinner one worked better for me. And then The connection here, I ended up using a wrench on that to tighten that up more to get the air to hold a little bit better. Anyways, I'm at the point where I'm gonna go ahead and dump the brake fluid into the power bleeder and then pump it up, and then start bleeding the system to pump the new DOT brake fluid in and take the DOT3 brake fluid out. So we'll get it dumped in here. Okay, so we're going to dump in the brake fluid now. I bought 3 of these bottles, so that should be about 1.5 liters. I think it's only supposed to take 1, but I wanted to make sure I had a little bit of extra if I needed it. All right, we'll get the lid tightened on here. Okay, so we got it pumped in the line there. One thing to note is there are air bubbles in the line here. I'm assuming that must be normal. And once it gets in there, the air will stick on the top and not flow through to the bottom there. But there are some air pockets in there. So we'll get over and start bleeding. I'm going to start with the right passenger rear. Normally you'd think that you do all the furthest away, so the right rear, the left rear, the right front, and then the left front. But in looking at the service manual, it's kind of weird because they want you to do the right rear, and then the left front, which is the closest one, and then the left rear, and then the right front, which is a very strange order for doing it, but the service manual says that, so that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so we got the rear tire removed from the vehicle now, and this is a 2016 Camaro SS, so the brakes that are on this one have 2 bleeders. It has an inside and an outside right here. And so what's supposed to happen is you're supposed to do the inside first, so almost all the fluid will actually run through the outside one, and then once you get the new fluid to the outside one, and then switch it over and we'll do the inside one. The other thing I'll point out too is that I was losing a little bit of pressure in the power bleeder when I was just using air, but now that I've got fluid in it, it's not losing any pressure at all, so it's holding strong on the pressure right now. So we'll get this thing flowing here and keep an eye on it to see when we're getting a change in the fluid color. Okay, so we seem to be okay. You can see it working its way down there, so we'll bleed some out here and see if we can get to the point where we see some kind of change in the color of the fluid. Okay, so I'm just kind of wrapping up here now. I've gotten all 4 of them done. So just to recap here, the order that I went right rear, left front, left rear, right front. And that's not the way I would normally would have done it, because I would have went further away. So I would have went both the rear ones right, left, and then the right front. But according to the GM manual, that's what they want you to do. So that's the way I did it. It seemed to work fine. Again, and on all the calipers, I'm starting with I did the outside one or the inside one first until I saw the fluid color change, and then to the inside one here, or the outside one. So inside first and then the outside one. I used probably about a 1.25 liters in total. I think I probably could have done it with 1 liter. I actually went through all of them, and then I went back through and bled a little bit went back through every one of them a second time and bled a little bit more back through them, just to make sure that everything looked good. So I could have done it with a little less, but I ran a little extra through just to make sure I had gotten all of the DOT3 fluid out of there as much as I could anyway. And probably after the first day I take it to the track, I'll probably replete them again, just to make sure and see how it does. But anyways, there you go. Links to the products that I use down below, and post questions down below. I know I didn't get everything captured on film here, but I got what I could. So if you have questions, just post them down below. As always, like, subscribe. Thanks.